Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
We are live, brothers, and welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 133, and I'm your host, Funk Roberts. And I am known around the world as a guy who helps men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond completely transform their body, naturally increase testosterone, lose weight, build muscle, improve their overall health, and get in the best shape of their lives so that they can provide, protect, and procreate for their families, for their community, and for those who they love around them. And today, we're going to talk and tackle the 10 commandments for muscle growth for men over 40. Very important that this podcast episode is dedicated to men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. So when you're listening to these 10 commandments, hopefully you are in this age group and you're a male, because this is dedicated to you. And before we dive in, if you are looking for a full health, fitness, workout, nutrition, support program specifically designed for you, the man over 40, 50, 60 and beyond, because we can't train the same way. You'll learn that today. We can't eat the same way. You've probably learned that in my past episodes, but you'll probably learn that in an upcoming episode about nutrition. But we can't do the same things that we used to do. And you feel it. Your body's changing, right? Your body's changing. You don't have the energy that you used to. You've got a little bit more belly fat, if not a lot more belly fat. You may be obese. You may have man boobs. You may, not have the confidence that you feel. Your mojo may not be there. Your libido could be down. You don't have that drive. You don't have that confidence. You don't have that feeling. You just don't feel the way you used to feel maybe 2 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. But you probably don't know what's happening with your body. And that's okay, because there's a lot of physiological changes that are going on. There's a lot of hormonal changes that are going on. And of course, you probably, due to your lifestyle, probably have become a little bit more sedentary. And there's not a lot of knowledge out there for us guys to know what type of workouts we should be doing or what the best diet plan or nutrition plan we should be on, because most of that information is not geared towards us. But lucky for you, if you're listening to this right now or watching this right now, if you go to over40alpha.com for $1, you can, in 30 days for $1, I will show you the follow along perfect workouts you should be doing to help you build muscle, burn fat, increase your strength, get that energy back. I will show you, and you can follow my nutrition plan specifically designed for men over 40. In fact, I have a best-selling book on nutrition for men over 40. So you're going to follow that Metabolic Boost nutrition system. You're going to follow the recovery protocols, the mobility and yoga to help keep your injuries at bay, to help you recover fast. You're going to learn about sleep. You're going to learn about mindset, and you're also going to learn about the supplementation, but you're also going to be connected with thousands and thousands and thousands of other men, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, just like you, who have and are on the same journey that you will be on. Go to over40alpha.com, join for $1, and also you'll get access to me every week as I run a live coaching call inside of our private Facebook group. So join right now. If you've been looking and trying to figure out what workout programs, what have you, I've been doing this with men over 40 for now over almost 6 years successfully with, when I say thousands and thousands, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of before and after transformations, health transformations, just naturally helping guys increase their testosterone naturally without the help of drugs or TRT, and completely helping men transform their lives. So go to over40alpha.com, over the number 40alpha.com. And for $1, join 30 days. Listen, if you don't get it, I'm gonna promise you'll lose 5 to 20 pounds in 30 days. But if you don't and you don't like it, I'll just give you your money back. It's that easy. All right, let's get into this. So today we're going to talk about the 10 commandments of muscle growth for men over 40, because it is extremely important as we get older that we are not only consistently working out, but we're also building muscle. Because a lot of times when we're getting back into training, like for me, when I was 39 and I started to suffer from low testosterone, but I was suffering from things that I didn't know was caused by my low T. I was, my energy levels were low. I had belly fat. I was 215 pounds. Right now I'm 185 pounds. That's generally what I've been for the last, 12 years, on and off. More than 12 years, because I'm 55 years old in April. Shooting this in 1 month. Today's March 12th, and April 12th is my birthday. So big up, big up. Anyway, so I'm usually 185. I'm 5'11", but back then I was like 30 pounds heavier. I was big and puffy. I was getting injured all the time, and I was in the gym training literally 6 days a week. I was doing all kinds of different diets, but I just didn't know what was happening. I had no sex drive. I had no confidence, and it just led me down a very dark path. But I was in the fitness industry at that time, and I was still doing the wrong workouts. So for you, if you're listening to this right now and you're kind of struggling with like, what type of workouts do I do? I tried this program. I went to CrossFit. I did this. I tried this guy's thing that I read in Men's Health or Men's Fitness or Muscle Flex magazine or whatever it is, or online. And it's just not working. I get it. I totally get it, because those workouts, those programs aren't necessarily designed for us, but also the people who program those and create those programs or write articles, they don't really understand the physiological changes, the things that we're struggling with, and then creating something based on that. That's why, for me, that this is what I do, and this is all I do. Like, I only train and work with men over 40. I've been engulfed in this niche, I guess, if you want to call it, for, like I said, 6 years. So I know what's happening, and I'm always on top of things that are changing. But in general, it's not just about my knowledge, it's about the proof. Because for me, the depth and breadth of a fitness trainer or a personal trainer or a influencer expert or what have you, the depth and breadth comes from the actual results that their programming is getting, not necessarily what they know. Yes, of course, if they know a lot of stuff, great. But there's a lot of people out there that know a lot of stuff, but they just know a lot of stuff, right? And so the practical application of what they know generally isn't shown. But if you go to over40alpha.com/proof, you will see. The proof is in the pudding, 100%. So I pride myself on that. And so, like, when we go through these 10 commandments, I'm not just spitting stuff out there that's backed by research and science, which it is. Most of the stuff that I'm telling you is based on proof. Like the weight of what I'm telling you is based on the actual proof that I see every single day inside my brotherhood. 15,000 men and counting, transforming their bodies, building muscle. But I understand, because with my coaching calls that we have over and over and over again, I know the struggles that you're going through. First of all, I had those same struggles before I changed my workouts, the type of workouts, changed my nutrition, focus more on recovery, etc., which we're going to go through. But I see this, I hear this on our coaching calls, on our live coaching calls, on our Zoom coaching calls, on our Q&As. I mean, I've done 70 to 80 Ask Funks, which is like basically people asking questions, and I go through 30 to 40 questions every episode and answer those questions through video. And so, like, I see it, I know it. So I wanted to premise this so that that now that you're kind of settling into listening to this episode, okay, so let me just listen to Funk, because I'm going to take what Funk says and I'm going to think about all what everyone else says, and then kind of, weigh what you feel has been working for you and what you did in the past, what hasn't been working for you. And if you find that the things I'm telling you are things that you've never tried before, you should probably try them because they work. Okay, they work. For us guys, I'm talking about 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I'm also not talking about the 40, 50, 60, or 70-year-old that's currently on TRT and that's currently in the gym, because you're using something that's going to enhance your recovery and enhance a lot of things that the regular guy like you and me listening to this podcast, just a regular guy who's not on TRT, who which again, you can be on TRT, no problem. I'm just saying that this episode is probably not for you. Now, when you're done and off TRT and you're back to struggling, come see me. Okay, come see me. Anyways, but it is funny because I have had many guys, but I've had a couple of people stick out to my mind. There's one guy who just loves the workouts that I create. And it's so funny because although he's definitely on TRT, he's told me in the past, but and his body is insane. Like, it's just, oh my God, it looks amazing. But he will send me a message or email me, and he'll be like, Funk, I love your workouts. I think he's from Germany or Austria. I can't remember. You probably know who I'm talking about. And he's like, Funk, I love your workouts. I love the total body. I love the metabolic resistance. I love that I can change the weight whenever I need to in order to make it harder or just depending on how much time I have. I love the results that I'm getting from it. And he just like loves it so much to like, he doesn't even know this, but now when I'm creating workout programs, I think about him. I think about, he's going to love this workout. I know he's going to love it. And so I'm just saying that because this does work for everybody, specifically in our age. Because there's a few things I always go over this a lot when I talk about stuff like this, specifically for men over 40, because I'm a former athlete, professional athlete in a couple of sports, and drilling is like how we get better, right? You drill until it just becomes second nature. And so you'll probably hear me repeating the same thing over and over and over again, because I just want it to become second nature, and everything that you hear or everything that you do should relate to the four things I'm going to talk about right now, that most guys are suffering from we're all suffering from, but specifically men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s are really suffering from as we age. And so a lot of these are the physiological changes, right? So the first thing before we dive into the top 10 or the 10 commandments of muscle growth is we suffer from sarcopenia, which is a natural loss of muscle due to aging. This is very important because after the age of 30, we start to lose about 3 to 5% of muscle mass every year, sometimes up to 8%. But as we start to age in decades, so, maybe in your 40s, you're losing 3 to 5%. But I honestly, and again, I don't have like research and proof about this, but science and research will show about 3 to 5%. But man, if you're not doing anything in your 30s, you're losing way more than 3 to 5%. And if you just look at the men in their 30s these days, man, extremely soft, specifically if you haven't done anything. But as you reach your 40s, that increases, right? Now you're getting maybe 5 to 8%, right? Depending, okay? This is all depending. I'm just giving you a full spectrum. And then, but when you get into your 60s and 70s, that accelerates to like 10% a year, specifically you haven't done anything, right? But that's a lot of muscle. That is an incredible amount of muscle. And when we don't have that muscle, there's a lot of things that happen. Number one, we lose our strength. Number two, muscle is like the key to longevity. It's that longevity organ. And it's so important for us. Because when you don't have muscle, you suffer from a lot more than just not having muscle. Your metabolic health goes to hell. Your ability to lose fat goes away, and so many other things. So like muscle is so important, and I'm not talking about getting like jacked like Arnold type muscle, but we should always be striving to build muscle and to be lean, to be muscular, to have that dense muscle, because no matter what, sarcopenia is happening, right? And so like, even if you, okay, I'm going to do a year of building muscle and then you stop, sarcopenia is not stopping. It's like I've mentioned this in another podcast. It's in the corner just waiting for its time to attack. It's right there. But if you're building muscle, then, it's kind of like on the sideline, right? It's like waiting for its time to come in. But it's always there. It's always ready. It's always getting stronger. So knowing that, okay, we're suffering from sarcopenia, I got to do stuff to help me build muscle. That's number one. Number two is our metabolic slowdown. And our metabolism doesn't generally slow down because of our age. It slows down mostly because of our lifestyle. Right, sedentary lifestyle, the type of, maybe our diets. We've been going on so many different like restrictive diets, yo-yo diets, that affects our metabolism. The fact that we don't have muscle will affect our metabolism. Muscle is denser than fat. Muscle is more metabolic than fat. So again, we have that metabolic slowdown as we get older if we're not doing the things that we should be doing to help increase our metabolism. Number three, generally we have increased belly fat, right? You start to see the increased belly fat. You start to see the man boobs. You start to see the hormonal shifts because, again, just the fact that our metabolism is slowing and the fact that we don't have muscle and the fact that our eating is not where it used to be, even if, a lot of times you'll get into the gym, you'll start working out, and someone came up to me the other day and was like, "Man, I've been in the gym, I've been working out," and then they started to point to their belly. It's like, but this, man, is so hard to get rid of. It's so hard to get rid of. It's like, yeah, it's generally the last thing for us guys is our belly fat, and if you're not focusing on number four, then your hormonal imbalance may be happening. If you're very stressed, right? So we're living a stressed lifestyle, chronically stressed, whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's, the type of workouts that we're doing, that will increase your belly fat because of the increased cortisol levels. If your hormones are out of whack and you have a ton of estrogen, which a lot of men, most guys, that I see have a massive amount of estrogen. We need a little bit of estrogen. It's a female hormone though. So the more you have, the more belly fat you're going to have, the more man boobs you're going to have. And just your hormonal makeup is going to be all out of whack. So that's number three. You're going to find that you're going to have an increased amount of belly fat. And it's going to be very difficult to get rid of. And number four, your testosterone levels naturally decrease 1% to 2% every year after the age of 30. So by time you reach 40 or 50 or 60, if you're not doing things to help you naturally increase testosterone, which is our number one male hormone and is responsible for better, more effective fat loss, the ability to build muscle easier and faster, balancing our hormones, energy, our libido will be boosted. Our energy levels will increase. Our strength will increase. Our motivation, our confidence, our mojo is all due to testosterone. And the fact that most people will demonize our number one male hormone, like this is what keeps us alive, pretty much. That if you take this away from us, we are just a shell. And so with sarcopenia, natural loss of muscle due to aging, with our metabolism slowing down due to, lifestyle, diet, maybe this is a style of workout, stress. Number three, which is belly fat, increased belly fat, hard to lose that last bit of belly fat. Hormonal imbalance can lead to visceral belly fat storage, which is extremely dangerous. And number four, testosterone levels naturally decrease. So when you understand those four things are happening, let's dive into the 10 commandments of workouts for men over 40. Commandment number one, thou shalt halt on bodybuilding, bro splits, and traditional weight training splits. Yes, I know. You're probably telling me right now, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You just said 1 second ago that we need to build muscle. We need muscle growth. And now you're telling me that I can't do bodybuilding type workouts or traditional weight training, workout splits or bro splits. That makes no sense. And on the surface, if you are listening to this in your 20s and 30s, it probably doesn't make sense, because in your 20s and 30s, you can and should do that. Or if you are an actual bodybuilder, then 100% you should be doing bodybuilding style workouts. When I talk about bodybuilding style workouts or bro splits or traditional weight training, I'm just talking about what we've grown up with. Our, Generation X, what we've grown up with, which is chest day, back day, bis and tris, legs, shoulders, back to chest day, abs and core, like one specific muscle group or two muscle groups per workout. You're in the gym for an hour and a half, longer, short. Like the rep range is about 8 to 12 reps, and then you're resting you're only supposed to rest for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But generally the rest periods start to become 5 and 6 and 7 minutes. And now with the implement of phones, sometimes it's even longer. Before, when we used to go to the gym and we would be resting, it's because we're talking to people. We're actually interacting. And, oh yeah, sorry, I gotta, you start interacting with your training partner, or, you see like a hot girl at the gym. So you're just kind of like, oh, what's up, girl? Or you see somebody you haven't seen before or in a long time. And it's like, oh shit, I got to go back and do my second set. Now it's just people don't even talk to each other. They're just on their phones. And so, but the splits, the body part split training for us as we get older doesn't work because our recovery isn't the same, right? So we don't recover the way we used to. So, with muscle growth, you need recovery, because we break and tear down muscle in the gym, right? We're making our body catabolic. We're tearing muscle fibers and tissues and damaging them, so that with our nutrition, with our hydration, and of course with our recovery, good sleep and recovery, the next day you're doing some type of mobility recovery, that's when our muscles are going to repair, get stronger, get bigger, and get ready and set for our next workout. Plus our joints as well, right? Like our joints aren't as strong as they used to be. And so once again, if you're just getting back in the gym and now you're going back to that old school style training, you're going to find you're going to get injured. It's going to be difficult to build muscle because you're not actually focusing on, you're tearing down every single day. And even though you may not be working legs every day, you're still tearing down that muscle fiber. You're not giving it a chance to recover. And so you see yourself struggling to build muscle, right? You see yourself getting injured. You see yourself with more joint pain. And again, I'm not talking about the guy who's on TRT who can rip through these type of workouts. And also, these are long, man. They're long. So the longer your workouts go, the more cortisol you're going to release. Right? We want to keep our workouts in a like, we're already going to release cortisol as we work out. That's already happening. We're putting stress. That's a stress hormone. So we're putting stress in our body. But the longer we put stress in our body, the more chronic that cortisol is. And I just talked about, some of the reasons why. Well, I didn't even talk about this, but some of the reasons why you also may not be able to build muscle is because your cortisol levels are high. Or the reason why you have more belly fat could be because your cortisol levels are high. Or when your cortisol levels are high and you have that chronic cortisol stress, you also get a lot of health issues as well that come along with it. So hitting each muscle group with, once a week, first of all, or, you know what I mean? Or you're only hitting that muscle group once a week, so the frequency may not be as much. Number two, those type of training as we get older, even though overtraining is something that like a younger guy in their 20s and 30s may, like, obviously when we were younger, we could do these type of works because we recover. But for us, that adds another element of overtraining, because now you're just in the gym 6 days a week. You're not even recovering. You're not doing anything to help, with your joints or your mobility or what have you. And it's just workout after workout after workout. Your body is going to break down at our age. our bodies are going to break down. The reason why people use anabolic steroids in most sense is most of the times it's the recovery that it gives us to be able to train again and again and again and again. But as we get older, these 5-day a week, 6-day a week, 7-day a week workout volume just isn't working for us. Right? And again, it may work out for a little bit, but it's going to catch up to you 100%. I see it. Whenever we have challenges inside the Brotherhood, right? The Brotherhood is my program. We'll sometimes have these workout challenges. I never do workout challenges, by the way, that are like 5 workouts a week when it comes to muscle building. But I will do a workout challenge, like a novel workout challenge that everyone in the Brotherhood will do at the same time. That is body weight, but it's 5 workouts a week, right? With 2 days rest, because it's a challenge. This is literally a challenge, right? We may want to increase the potential to burn fat because of the type of workouts there are, but also it's a challenge. I'm trying to put these guys in very uncomfortable situations, in regards to like the volume's a lot higher. Like right now we're in the end of a fasting over 40 challenge. So not only are our calories low, but we're also working out 5 days a week. And I would generally never do this, well, because it's a challenge. But you see that there's guys who are burning out even for 4 weeks of this type of training. So imagine if you're now adding more load, you're in the gym longer. It just doesn't work for us right now. Not when you're getting back in trying to build muscle. So halt with the bodybuilding type workouts, the stuff that you look at in Muscle and Fitness and all those magazines that are generally geared towards us guys, and move more into commandment number 2, which is thou shalt engage in metabolic resistance training. In fact, total body metabolic resistance training, aiming for 3 to 4 workouts per week. And the reason why this is great is because metabolic training, which is moving from one exercise to another with little to no rest in between, that's metabolic training, right? That's in essence, it's what you would probably think of as HIIT training, or circuit training, right? I like to do mine for time because then you don't have to worry about counting reps, but you can do it for reps too, where you move from one exercise to another. And there's so many different types of metabolic training, but I love metabolic resistance training. So now we're adding dumbbells. Now we're adding resistance bands. Now we're adding kettlebells. In some sense, depending on the type of exercise, you're adding maybe a barbell, right? Some other like loads. But again, it's more about the type of workouts, making sure that you've got, I like dumbbells. It's the lowest friction load that you can use, weight, a type of equipment you can use, and you can get so many exercises out of just using a set of dumbbells. And the type of workouts will help you not only build muscle, but burn fat because of that metabolic protocol. So total body workouts, you can literally, so this is how I would create a metabolic resistance training programming for a week. You would, let's just say we're only doing 3 workouts because that's really all you need. In fact, there are studies that show that these type of workouts, total body workouts, 3 to 4 times a week for men over 40, 50, and 60, trump, if not are the same, but if not trump the bro split type training, right? Because remember, it's all about sustainability too. We don't want to be injured. We don't want to have pain. We want to be able to build muscle. We want to be able to move in a better movement pattern. So with this metabolic resistance training, the focus here is you're adding load, right? After you've mastered the movement, now you're adding load. And one workout could be, squats, chest press, lunge, forward lunge, bent over rows, side shoulder lateral raises, single leg deadlifts. You know what I mean? And then you rest one day and then do mobility, and then the next workout you come in, you're going to do another squat variation, not the same squat you did. So maybe goblet squats, maybe reverse lunge, maybe instead of doing a chest press or push, you're going to do a tricep exercise, a bicep exercise, maybe shoulder press, maybe dumbbell swings. And then the third workout will be another squat variation, maybe close leg squats or wide squats. Maybe your lunges, side lunges, or Bulgarian split squats, either way. Maybe your chest press is going to be different, the type of chest. Maybe it's wide chest now. So you're able, or you could, those are just 6 exercises. I mean, you could do, I like doing 10 exercise circuits. Like, it doesn't matter in regards to, like, you could do workouts that are functional style, so movement based, or you can do workouts literally that hit different body parts. The point is, you're going to do 3 to 4 workouts. You're going to repeat those workouts for a month. That's 4 times. And then you're going to move on and change up the style of metabolic resistance training, because there's so many. Change up the exercises. There's so many ways that you could be doing this for the rest of your life and get incredible gains, incredible strength, better movement, right? So metabolic resistance training, I love metabolic resistance training. It's like my favorite type of training, right? It's my favorite type of training. There's so many different types of metabolic training to begin with, let alone the exercises, the movement patterns. Oh man, it's incredible. It's incredible. And they're so short. They're literally 20 to 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. That's it. You don't need any more because of the type of trainings. You're not resting between exercises as long as you would if you were doing a traditional workout. So again, you're hitting that epoch, right? Excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which is the afterburn effect. Sorry, guys. Which means that you're not only going to be burning calories during that workout, but after. Because again, depending on the type of workout, like, you could be doing each exercise for 45 seconds of work followed by 15 seconds rest, right? One after the other, for 3 to 4 rounds, right? And so the way and actually we'll get to this in a second, because that's generally metabolic resistance training. Total body workouts is what you want. And of course, as you start to get more fit, you can go, okay, upper, lower. You could go push, pull, legs. Like, you can change up the type of workouts that you're going to be doing throughout the week as you progress with your fitness, with your strength, with your movement patterns, etc. But it's the metabolic resistance training that you want to be doing as you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s in order to help you build muscle. Which brings me to the next, number 3, thou shalt embrace progressive overload. And I'm going to add progressive overload slash the factor, the muscle growth factors, I guess, if you want to call it that. Because progressive overload, if you go back and listen to episode 103, my episode 103 of the Over 40 Alpha podcast, I talked about progressive overload. You need to embrace that, baby. And this is huge, because this was something that I ran into inside my brotherhood. Because inside my program, so progressive overload is just increasing. There's so many different ways to overload, right? So in essence, progressive overload is basically increasing the stimulus of your workouts in order to continue to either invoke mechanical tension, muscle damage, metabolic stress as you work out, because our bodies will adapt, right? We will adapt. We're very smart in adapting to the implement and the load that we're using. So for instance, if we're using 20-pound dumbbells for bicep curls, and when you first pick them up, you find it very difficult to do 30 seconds of bicep curls continuously. After 4 weeks, that's going to be easy. So you're like, oh, this is so simple, right? And so, but if you move on to the very next phase of your workout and you're still using the 20-pound dumbbells, doesn't matter how faster you go, you're not going to create either mechanical tension or metabolic stress or muscle damage, because your biceps and your body are like, hey man, these 20 pounds aren't going to do shit for me. I don't care how long you do these for. It ain't gonna get any of those 3 things, which are important, right? Mechanical tension, which involves lifting heavy weights, right? Creating a lot of tension on the muscles. That's one factor, right? Which is where you see like your typical weight being 3 to 5 reps. So mechanical tension it does apply to metabolic training because you can implement it into metabolic training by like starting your workout with maybe a mechanical tension exercise. Like I have a program that has all three: mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage, all in the same workout. 6, 12, 21. I believe it's called 6, 12, 21, where you're doing an exercise for 6 reps or up to 6 reps, then the very next one's 12, and the very next one's 21. But which hits like the mechanical tension, which is heavy, mechanical stress, which is like what we're used to doing, achieving higher reps, shorter periods of rest, and that's mechanical stress, which is like a lot more volume, and then the muscle damage, which is like, like your hypertrophy type training, right? That you're known for. You're causing micro tears in the muscle fibers, right? So those are 3 different ways to build muscle. Sometimes you can create a workout program that has all 3 of those, which is what I just talked about. The point I'm trying to make is, if we don't focus on progressive overload, and doesn't have to be every single workout, but if we're not focusing on that, then we're not going to be able to build muscle. We're not going to invoke any of those things. And there's so many different ways. You can increase your weight, which most people know, but you can increase the volume depending on the type of exercise or movement. You can increase the frequency of your training. You can increase the variation of the exercise. You can increase the way you put the exercise in, like the way you program the exercise, the order of exercise. You can improve your technique. Like, one of the things I talk about is mastering the movement. That alone gives you progressive overload. Mastering a specific movement as opposed to just doing it, like literally connecting that mind to muscle and really refining the technique of that exercise so that you truly activate that muscle. You can truly get those micro tears, right? The intensity of your training in general. You could do the same workout and the exact same exercises, and based on the intensity of that workout, that could be progressive overload. So for instance, if I do the 6 exercises, 30 seconds of work followed by 30 seconds rest, one after the other with a 60-second rest in between. And then 2 days later, I wouldn't do this, but 2 days later, let's say, we do the exact same workout, but now it's 60 seconds of work followed by 15 seconds rest each exercise, and there's no rest in between the sets. That's increasing your training intensity. One way. You can incorporate advanced training techniques, different, like supersets and rest pause training and drop sets. Like, I have a program called hybrid hypertrophy, using hybrid sets, where I implement all these different types of advanced training techniques in one workout. You can manipulate the rest periods. I just talked about that. You can rest for 15 seconds, you can rest for 30 seconds, or you can rest for 45 seconds, depending on the exercise. You can use periodization, the type of training. You can focus on the eccentric now, the eccentric movement, going a little bit slower. You can increase the range of motion. You can play with the tempo of the movement. You can use different types of exercise, like unilateral exercises, as opposed to dumbbell chest. You can use single dumbbell chest. You can incorporate more explosive movements. You can prioritize your weak points first, or you can prioritize muscle imbalance in order to achieve progressive overload. So there's so many different, and that I was just scratching the surface. There's so many more different ways to progressively overload with your workout. So again, just with what I just talked about, you could literally use the same exercises, the same workout, and implement a lot of those techniques to take those exact same exercises and progressively overload in different ways. How exciting is that? Like, I'm getting pumped just doing this. Like double bicep pose, baby. Double bicep pose. Yeah. Right? That could be the thumbnail right there, by the way. 40 minutes in. Oh man, embracing progressive overload. You gotta embrace it. Number 4, thou shalt prioritize recovery. Let me repeat this, my brothers. Recovery. I just did a podcast episode on recovery and injury prevention. So you think that thou shalt prioritize recovery when it comes to building muscle at 40, 50, 60, and 70? You're damn right. In fact, for Angela and I'm 55 in 1 month. Angela's 53. Or is she 52? I don't remember how old my wife is. The point I'm trying to, I think she's 52. No, she's 53. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make though is we prioritize recovery big time because we realize that we see more gains, more strength, more muscle when we're recovering. And when we talk about recovery, I'm not just talking about like not working out at all. Of course, there's one day that we do that. Recovery meaning implementing alpha rom, which is range of motion stuff, yoga. I'm starting to implement man flow yoga, which I got to have on my podcast. Some Pilates stuff. I had sports Pilates guy on my podcast, like those type of things that will help with recovery so that we don't get injured, right? Also, it also helps with our flexibility, our mobility, right? Our joint health. And then, of course, resting in general is super key. We're going to talk about the real time when your muscle repairs and grows. But even between workouts, your muscle's repairing and growing. So instead of going 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week in the gym, which is what we talked about at the very beginning not to do, the reason why we don't do that and only work out 3 to 4 times a week, and that's it. Like people will ask me, how many times do you work out a week? And I tell them 3 times, sometimes 4. If I'm creating a program, then it's 4. But if I'm not, it's 3. They don't believe it. They're like, no. I'm like, dude, how? Then it's like, how long have you been doing that for? 7, 8 years. 7, 8 years. 6 years. 6 years. No, how old am I? 50, almost 55? Yeah, 7, 8 years. Literally. 4 times max. You're not seeing me doing 5 times a week. That's not happening. Not even if I'm creating a program is that happening. And now, that's not even. And then you'll hear like, well, did you not like build your base doing like more? And I'm like, what are you talking about building your base? Like, listen to the stupidness that's going on in your head right now. What are you talking about building my base? Dude, it's like there was no, like when I was 39 and I changed my style of workouts, when I changed my workouts, I changed them to 3 to 4 workouts a week. I didn't change them to 6, 7 workouts. I changed them to 3 to 4 because the 6 to 7 was not working. I went to the gym more and ended up getting injured, ended up not being able to build muscle because I wasn't recovering. So that happened when I was 40. That's happened 14 years ago. But obviously in the first part of my 40s, I fought. So that was a different type of training, more strength and conditioning. So it's a little bit different, but recovery is key for strength and conditioning at 40 when you're training for fights. You don't go, it's the recovery time that's important because you don't want to get injured before your fight. So throughout the years, it's not bodybuilding workouts that gave me the base. It's not freaking working out 5, 6 times a week. It's literally 3 to 4. That's all you need because it's the recovery. We're tearing down. I just talked about this. Muscle damage in the gym, right? Metabolic stress in the gym, mechanical tension in the gym, tearing, micro tears, muscle fibers done in the gym, creating a catabolic environment in the gym, cortisol high in the gym or at home, wherever you're working out. Muscle growth happens on your recovery day. Muscle growth happens and repair happens when you sleep. Muscle growth and repair happens with nutrition. It doesn't happen in the gym. We're actually destroying our muscles in the gym, in a sense. But we're building them back up outside of the gym, outside of the workout environment. So you have to prioritize recovery. It is smarter working, not more. This is not about accelerating your results by working out more. You're just going to accelerate your chances of getting injured. Exactly what's going to happen. Why? Because I've seen it. Injury, burnout, overtraining. I have seen it. And it's not sustainable. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, maybe when you're in your 70s if you're retired, but still when you're retired, you don't want to be in the gym all day every day. You want to be enjoying life, enjoying beauty, going hiking, going work, traveling, enjoying, the new things that you're going to be pursuing as you're getting older, enjoying being a grandfather, enjoy being a father. You're not in the gym 24/7, right? So trying to work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and thinking that's going to be sustainable when someone dies in your family, when your wife leaves you, when you have to change jobs, when your kids are going somewhere, like you have to start taking your kids to jiu-jitsu class or to gymnastics, or when, something happens in your life that kind of like thwarts your 6-day-a-week training. And then next thing you know, that 6-day-a-week training goes to zero, because it's usually from hero to zero when it's that much. But when it's only 30-minute workouts, 20-minute workouts 3 times a week, and even if you're doing 4 and you start to tail it down to 3 because of all these other things happening, doesn't that sound more sustainable to you? And you're going to get better results because of number 4, you're prioritizing recovery. Let's talk about number 5. Thou shalt hydrate religiously. What does hydrating mean? That means you need to drink water, because muscle is made up of a lot of water, almost about 80%, depending. So you got to stay hydrated, because it is essential for our muscles to function. It's essential for muscle growth, and proper hydration will also enable you will help with prevention of injuries, right? You got to feed the muscles and feed your body the water that it needs. I'm not talking about like just general liquids. I'm talking about water, just good old fashioned water. In the morning when you wake up, throw some electrolytes in. After you work out, throw some electrolytes in. And the rest of the time, just drink water. At least a gallon of water a day, specifically if you're building muscle, which means all the time, which means at least a gallon of water a day. At least. You're going to be pee guy. Let's move on to number 6. Thou shalt be consistent over perfection. Consistency over perfection. Now, these aren't in any order. I'm just randomly throwing these out there, but it's about consistency. It's about sustainability. It's about long-term results. Because remember, I talked about sarcopenia, who's in the corner right now or on the bench reading the newspaper, waiting for you to be a little bit more sporadic in your workouts, waiting for you to stop training, waiting for you to stop being consistent with your workouts, just waiting. So, and the cool thing about sarcopenia is always training. Sarcopenia is always training. Sarcopenia is consistent. Doesn't worry about perfection. Sarcopenia is consistent. And when I say perfection, I'm talking about like, it's better just to be consistent with the workouts. Obviously, when you're the exercise you want to master, but you don't worry about like, oh, I have to do this workout program only on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and this is the time, and it's got to be this time, and I can't. No, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to be working out 2 days in a row and then taking 2 days off. Sometimes the workouts aren't going to be 30 minutes. You got to go, okay, this week I got to strip down the workout. It's only 20 minutes because I just got to get it done. I got consistency. It's about consistency. It's not missing a workout. Do not miss a workout. Do not miss a workout, because if you're training at the right intensity and the right volume, you're going to have 3 days at least, maybe 4 of recovery. So you shouldn't overload. And then if you have the right program, you're going to have a week of a deload week to keep you consistent. So your deload week is going to help your body recover. You're not going to work out as much, but you're going to be doing other things. And that way you can stay consistent, not burn out. But sarcopenia is consistent. And sarcopenia is waiting for that sliver of moment when you stop being consistent, when you start to be a little bit more sporadic. Don't worry about every workout being the perfect workout. If you only get 15 minutes of the workout one day, it's not going to make the massive difference in the big picture. I know sometimes guys are like, man, I missed a workout. Should I double up my next workout? No, don't. Absolutely not. You do not I will slap you across the face if I see you. You do not double up your workout. If you ask me that question and you now have heard this and you come again with the question, I missed a workout, should I double up? You know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the look and I'm going to go, plop, plop. Actually, I'm going to take a glove and do it. No, I'm going to slap you across the face with my hand. So that it really keeps you. Yes, I know it's violence, but sometimes we just need a slap to wake us up. Oh, what am I thinking? Well, so I'm so sorry I even asked that question. Let me sit back and think about. Yes, I'm so sorry, Funkster. I'll slap sodas out of your hand. I'll slap freaking A535 out of your hand. And I'll slap you across the face if you ask me, should I double up my workouts if I miss one? And if you don't like it, beat it, jabroni. Anyways, let's keep going. Just having some fun here. So consistency is key, right? We're thinking the long game. We want to be training until we die. So in order to do that, it's not about perfection. It's just consistent 3 days a week, at least. Sometimes you're going to be 4. Sometimes your workouts are going to be amazing. Sometimes they're going to be crappy. You're going to have a deload week. Sometimes it's okay, man. It's okay. Just keep training. Don't miss a workout. If you're traveling, go get my travel shred program. That way you can work out as you can use a fitness center or go on the beach and work out with a bodyweight workout. It's okay. Number 7, commandment number 7, thou shalt not neglect protein and thou shalt eat a balanced plate meal. This is a combo because you can't outtrain a bad diet. So no matter if you do all of the 6 things I just talked about and then some, if your nutrition sucks, you're not going to build muscle. Your muscles need protein and a shitload of protein. Your body. And when I say shit ton of protein, I just mean, it needs a lot of protein. At least 1 gram per body part. But this is one that everyone's like 1 gram per body part, 0.8 grams per kilogram, whatever it is. You just need to make sure that this is how I do it. You're going to eat 3 meals a day and you're going to have 1 protein shake. Okay. Throughout the day, whether it's nighttime, like Angela and I, we're now doing our protein shake at night before we go to bed. So we're taking it with the sleep shred, with our magnesium, with whatever, things that we need to supplements we need to take at night. We're taking it with a protein shake. So with protein and water, not protein and milk, not freaking smoothie, a protein shake, which is a protein water, period. High quality grass-fed protein powder. Okay. Now, the other 3 meals are going to be 3 meals a day. Each meal has a source of protein, a source of complex carbs, a source of healthy fat, and a source of vegetables and fruits. Why do you need each one? Well, the carbs are important. The carbs are going to be very, very important for building muscle, for energy, for your metabolism, because your complex carbs, not simple carbs, your good complex carbs are important for your thyroid, the metabolism. Energy specifically, building muscle. Okay. Number 2, protein. We already know protein's the building blocks of our muscles, bones, and the metabolic things that happen throughout the body, the processes. And so we don't naturally produce protein. We need it from an outside source, which means even more we need to source high quality sources of protein. Number 3 is healthy fats. Why do we need healthy fats? Well, I talked about testosterone. Remember at the very beginning of this, I said our testosterone levels naturally decrease 1 to 2% every year. Remember at the very beginning, I also talked about how testosterone helps us with building muscle strength, as well as a plethora of other things that testosterone does. Well, healthy fats have good cholesterol, and good cholesterol is the precursor to testosterone production. So if you don't have good cholesterol, by time your hormones get down to the testes, and now you're luteinizing hormones, the testes going, okay, let's go, man, let's go. And there's no good cholesterol, then there's no testosterone production. So you're going to get that from healthy fats. And then you're going to do, obviously your vegetables and fruits are going to give you the vitamins, the minerals, the micronutrients that will help with your hormones, help with your muscles, help with, supporting muscle repair, supporting muscle growth, and supporting overall health, your joints, everything. So 3 meals a day, balanced plate meals, or if you are like me in the morning, you have your steel cut oats breakfast or cream of wheat breakfast, which has a source of protein, which has berries and has cashews and a big massive scoop of protein powder mixed in to make it taste absolutely amazing, and a banana too, because bananas make everything taste great. But that's what you want. You don't neglect protein and you don't neglect your nutrition, because you can't outtrain a bad diet. Number 8, thou shalt manage your stress. Once again, cortisol is a stress hormone. And although we need cortisol throughout the day, we need it like right now as I'm talking, I need cortisol. My cortisol levels are high. I'm freaking focused here. I'm on fire, baby. I'm on fire. But my cortisol levels are high, and they need to be up and down throughout the day. It's important because, like, when we're waking up, our cortisol levels are high, but when we go to bed, our cortisol levels need to be low, because that's when our melatonin, natural melatonin, gets released, and our cortisol should be low. But in order for us to build muscle, we need to manage our cortisol levels, manage our stress, so that it's not detrimental to our muscle growth. So we need to add those things like your recovery, like things that are going to help us manage our stress if we're in a very stressful situation, if we don't know how to manage stress to begin with work and kids and home life and what have you. Then you need to add, your gratitude journaling every morning, or meditation, breath work, those things. Number 9, thou shalt get 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, period. That's it. I mean, your muscle growth, your muscle repair, the size of your muscle, all of those things, muscle growth, muscle repair, muscle recovery, all happens when you're sleeping. Good, uninterrupted, deep sleep. If you're not getting that on a daily basis, on a nightly basis, you're not going to build muscle. So remember I talked about the nutrition portion of it. Remember I talked about the progressive overload portion. This is another massive one, sleep. They all are. I mean, it's the 10 commandments. It's the 10 commandments. You got to get 7 to 9 hours sleep. And we'll go down that road in the 10 commandments of sleep. We'll also go down that road when we have, sleep specialist and sleep expert Nick Lamb on the podcast. But you got to get that sleep, man. And that's something we can do right away. And it's so crazy because when I travel, when Angela and I are on our road trips, we get the best sleep. It's like hotel beds, freaking Airbnb beds, freaking bed and breakfast beds. Even when we stayed in a pod on the side of a mountain in Big Bend National Park in Texas, under the stars. Insanely amazing sleep. And my body, remember, this is on a road trip. This was like a 10-day road trip. And our workouts were very sporadic. We worked out at On It. We worked out actually in our pod. We hiked a lot. And I remember like my abs were so freaking like shredded. And my muscle, I was just holding on to that muscle. It's like, oh dude, it's the sleep, man. It's 100% the sleep. The sleep is helping with increasing my growth hormones. It's keeping my cortisol levels at base. And also when you're hiking in the beautiful mountains, mountain region of, Big Bend National Park or in the desert, it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. But the sleep is so important, man. And number 10, before we go, thou shalt include mobility work. Right? Flexibility, range of motion, mobility, yoga, core training. Those are the things that you're going to implement on those recovery days to help prevent injury and to also help you with your exercise performance. right? Like range of motion. When you have more range of motion, you can build more muscle because you have better range of motion, less injuries, better stability in your shoulders, better mobility in the shoulders give you a better chance of building better, healthier shoulders, which also will help you with your presses and your pulls, right? Core strength is going to help you with your squats and your lunges, your glute strength, like all of the things that you can tackle during, I call it mobility work, but flexibility, range of motion, mobility, yoga, Pilates, active recovery. I know we kind of talked about you need that recovery, which is prioritizing that, but what are you doing on those active recovery days or on the recovery day? Well, one day you're going to rest completely and you're going to meal prep so that your week is ready. You're also on that rest day, you're going to prepare your week of what are the foods I'm going to be eating? What are my go-to foods that week? What are my go-to carbs? What are my 3 go-to proteins? What are my 3 go-to fats? What are my 3 go-to vegetables and fruits or more vegetables and fruits? And you're going to write those down. You're going to go and you're going to get them and you're going to meal prep. And then you're going to write down what days you're going to work out and what times you're going to work out and what workouts you're going to do. And you're going to give yourself a little bit of an accountability on the weekends on that rest day to prepare you for the week. And the active rest days are when you're going to be doing your flexibility, your range of motion, your core, your yoga, and you're also going to ensure that before you work out, you warm up, and after you work out, you do your stretch. And if you want to build muscle over the age of 40, 50, and 60, you got to follow these commandments. Follow these commandments. Thou shalt halt your bodybuilding, your bro splits, and your training, your weight training splits. Thou shalt implement metabolic resistance training. Thou shalt embrace progressive overload. Thou shalt prioritize your recovery. Thou shalt hydrate religiously. Thou shalt seek consistency over the perfection of your workouts. Thou shalt never neglect protein, let alone your 3 balanced plate meals. You can't outtrain a bad diet. Nutrition's got to be key. You've got to manage. Thou shalt manage your stress. Thou shalt get quality sleep 7 to 9 hours, and thou shalt include mobility work, flexibility, range of motion, yoga, Pilates, etc. during your active recovery day in order for you to prevent injuries, sustainably work out till you're in your hundreds and build lean, strong, dense muscle in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Thank you so much for listening. If you need a workout program that will help you with all 10 of these commandments, go to over40alpha.com. For $1, you're going to get mobility and yoga training. For $1, you're going to get sleep tips, strategies. For $1, you're going to learn how to embrace mindset and so that you can manage your stress. For $1, you're going to get a full nutrition system laid out for you, easy to follow, done for you meal plans. You're going to, for $1, focus on consistency. Why? Because everything is laid out for you. The schedule of your workouts are laid out. Every workout's a follow along workout. So it takes away the barrier of trying to figure out how to do the exercise, how many reps, what weight. All you're doing is you're clicking play and you're training with me, the Funkster. I'm going to help you go through all of the workouts. I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to be coaching you, and I'm going to be dying with you in the workouts. For $1, you're going to focus on hydration, because that is the first thing I tell you on day number 1 when you open up that video. It's, hey, 1 gallon of water. Hydration is key. For $1, you're going to prioritize recovery because you have the schedule that includes active recovery days and a rest day. For $1, you're going to progressively overload, because the type of workouts that I'm giving you throughout the phase, which is 4 weeks, I'm always telling you that you need to increase weight when you can, or increase any of the progressive overload techniques as we do the workouts. But then if you continue along, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, up to phase 36, there's always progressive overload happening as you are getting fitter. For $1, you are going to use metabolic resistance training. And for $1, you're going to throw bodybuilding style, bro split styles, and traditional weight training out the window. And for $1, you're going to not only be amongst thousands and thousands of other guys there to support you through your journey, but you're also going to have access to the Funkster every single Friday at 9 a.m. on our live coaching calls. Go to over40alpha.com and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Get it done. Yeah.